I didn't have the notion of career at first because I studied art in an art school in France, in Lyon, and then in Nantes, and then I slowly moved to club music. But at first, I wanted to make visual art and performance. So the idea of career for me was very different at the time, and when I graduated from art school, I discovered music. I mean, club music. I was playing music for a long time, but I discovered club music and DJ sets and stuff. And yeah, I discovered that it was easier for me to connect with people with music than with visual art and performance, which take maybe more time or I mean, it's a different way to connect with people. So yeah, this idea of career, I still don't have it. I don't know what it is. I'm still making visual art also, so my work is also visual art, performances. I'm also composing music for a contemporary art, a contemporary dance show. So maybe the whole thing is my career, I don't know. I think the earliest memory will be the jazz my father used to listen, like super old school jazz like Ella Fitzgerald and Louis Armstrong. And maybe it has an influence on me, I guess. But also what inspires me isn't really connected to... It's sometimes connected to music, but sometimes it's also connected to cinema, movies, or also theater shows or performances. So it's not always about music, the things that inspires me. The thing about social media, it's really difficult to talk about it because social media isn't a controversial topic anymore. It's not really a threat. It's just it's around us. It's our world. It's a part of our world, and it's not a thing we can be distant with and say it's good or it's bad. It's already here, so we just have to think how we behave with it, and the good thing that can happen with it, and the bad thing, of course, that can happen with it. 1 year ago, I decided to produce a video game with my boyfriend Yvan Megals, who's a Belgian director, and we decided to produce this video game, and it's completely DIY. We don't know anything about developing a video game. The idea was to use it as a music video for the release of The End of Logic, my future EP on Hardfist, and use it as a music video, but interactive music video in a way. And the subject of this video game is about social media, but our obsession with social media. Social media is a part of us. It's not something distant from us, so we cannot actually take it out of this world because it's already here. So the video game is more satirical and funny critic of this. Because what's interests me in the social media is what's happening with inside of us. For example, the number of views, likes, followers. What's happening when we see a video with a lot of views? Some people won't see it because it's too mainstream, because a number of views is considered as mainstream. And also the other one will see it because they will be comforted by the idea that other people liked it too. And also as an artist and as a person too, when you post something on social media, you can't avoid the happiness of having likes and followers and stuff. And you want to have ideas about it and be distant with it, but also there is something inside of us, something really primitive, that telling us that it's good because people like it, because maybe you feel the need to be liked or comforted, or you need acknowledgement. I don't know, there is something inside of us that we want, and we use social media for it. And I like the idea of using social media as a reflection of how we behave. Actually, the industry thing, I've never seen the electronic music scene without the industry. I didn't grow up. I mean, I wasn't in the 90s raves, and so I don't have any idea of how it was back in the time with this idea of freedom, etc. There is still this feeling of freedom and this idea of being outside of the society, and maybe avoiding rules from society, and being locked in a space where you can be whatever you want. And how can I say? I think it's important to know the history of things, the roots where the electronic music comes from. It comes, for example, disco. It comes from LGBT black people, and most of it comes from people of color. And we have to know this because it's important, especially now, because there's still lots of. I mean, we are not equal at all, and we have to work on it. For example, it's important to know this past when we are booking artists, because it's really not fair what's happening right now. It's really unequal. And so, in one hand, I would say it's really important to know the history and and respect it, and respect the roots, and also respect the freedom that the dance floor in a club can create. The unity it can create, I think it's really important. But also, I don't like the idea of paying tribute to something, because we don't have to pay back anything. We are here, it's the present, and we don't have to. We have to respect the past, but also we have to move on and do our own stuff. It's like being a child. It's like you need to be yourself, to do your own stuff, and also respect your parents and stuff. But also at some point you need to fight with them, you need to be distant, and you need to create your own stuff. So I think good things happen, for example, in the queer scene in Brussels, or some other places. In the queer scene, they take the safe space and the idea of unity. So they respect and know the history of this scene, but also they create something new. So I think there's good things happen, and good art maybe comes with the both knowledge of history and awareness of the present, and also a vision for a future, a better future. I think for me the positive things about electronic music, and the positive things that make things change, and for the better, is, for example, having more female artists visible, because they were always here. It's just nobody wanted to book them, but they were here. Also more visibility for people of color. Also, yeah, I think visibility is more visibility than 10 years or 20 years ago. I think it's something very positive for the electronic music scene. And also the positive things is I don't know the word for it. The fact that a lot of gears were available for cheap, very cheap, to play and DJ and start. So it's really simple to make music with a computer or even with a smartphone. So I think this idea of DJing being very democratic had something added something very positive to the music scene. Actually, during the quarantine, there was a lot of artists who were available at that time because there was no gigs. So it was, I mean, it's still right now, really tough because there's a lot of work. Because every artist with which I want to collaborate, with who I want to collaborate, they are available, so they're like, okay, let's do something and let's work. So I got a lot of work, so I think that kept me motivated from working because things were happening and I was still into working on my stuff and researching new things and experimenting on new things. So this kept me motivated. Also, I'll say simple stuff from daily life, like I don't know, video games, very nice video games where you really discover things and with nice narratives and stuff like this. Also playing music, but I mean not electronic music, just playing piano randomly without thinking that you will make a song or anything, but just let yourself go, or I don't know, going to, I don't know, watching movies and taking care of plants. It's not really strange actually, but it's still something funny. I was living in Nantes, in France, and I was invited for the first time to play in Brussels. It was a crew of friends. It was only a female crew. They were called the Tropical Boobs, and they made a party, and it was really, really nice in a small basement in the center of Brussels. Really tough, really heavy, really underground. And I was playing from 9 to 11 in the morning, and the party was crazy when I arrived. And when I set my gears and stuff, there was some drips from sweat and stuff coming from the ceiling because it was too warm. So the people were here to be careful with the drips and to cover all the vinyls and all the stuff with protection. So it was funny. That's I guess the only memories of weird stuff that can happen. I don't know. I don't know, because I think the idea of success is also the same as it's the same big word as career. It's a big word, and I mean it's connected to something, but I cannot really relate to it because I don't know what success is. For example, with social media, we see that, I mean, we can admit that success comes with numbers of views, but also success happens when you're earning a lot of money. Success happens when you're touring a lot. So I don't know what success means in this situation. Also, it's like career. It's just one thing. You don't have success in your whole life. You just have success in one direction, and it can be temporary. But for me, the idea of me being successful might be like being known by the people I admire. So this can be my idea of success. Also, play where I want, but also be free to play or not to play, be free to stop or continue, not feeling trapped into a tour or Yeah, for me, being successful is being free, because, for example, if people like only one kind of stuff, one kind of track I'm making, and they want me to do this, and this will be, imagine that it will be successful, and people will ask me for a lot of tracks like this. I won't be as successful. I won't be free. So I don't know if it's success. Hi, I'm Strapontin. Thanks for watching the Random Rave project.